Yeah, yeah, yeah. So many lies that you hear from the net, they don't get her respect. She reporting the truth, not a check. You want an unbiased opinion straight from the chest, not a bit accomplice or someone here for a check. Tune in, these are thoughts from a lawyer on a mission who goes so hard it's like she works on commission. Trolls in the comments might say she tripping cause they lack the knowledge. They don't know they missing. Got a couple current events that you like. Wanna know about law from the eyes. Tired of all these blogs running lies because their agendas are disguised. Tune in to the intellect, cause I'm sure y'all missing all the facts of the case that she steady is gifted. Someone here for the people, man, it's so uplifting. If you ain't subscribed yet, then you just omitting facts.
Hello, everyone. It is Pam Esquire, also known as your law intellect. Hope you guys are having a great day. You guys know what we are here for. We are here to talk about the Ernest Nesto Williams case. As we sit here today, there are 4 indictments that are pending, but one of those indictments was related to a RICO allegation, and there's also, I think it's like 40 counts or something, but we'll get into that. There was a motion to suppress that was filed about, almost a year ago, of which there was some back and forth. Well, the state supplemented their response, and there was a hearing last month of which Madam Shirley Strawberry, who is co-counsel today, sitting here to my right, and she testified. And when she testified, the judge made a decision based off of that testimony, it seems, that this motion to suppress will be denied. And we're going to get into how Shirley Strawberry single handedly got this motion denied, and how Pam Esquire, who tries her best to be balanced as much as she can, sometimes those scales lean lot one way than the other. And I made a statement and said, this whole getting Sonya into this is not a great idea. You talking on the phone to a whole nother woman was not a good idea. You just thinking that you still in your 20s and frolicking up and through the state of Georgia talking to women, that's not a good idea. And this order from the court will almost show you why I said what I said. It wasn't to be malicious. I don't know these people to not like you. I'm not going to not like people I don't know. You're not getting that much energy from me. But sometimes I just call a thing, and I will just, if you pay attention to me, sometimes I will give you some great unsolicited, not legal advice, because I'm not your attorney. But what I will do is I will give information on this platform between me and the subscribers, the intellects, and it will be some good advice if you adhere to it. But anyways, we're about to get into it. I You, Mr. Hoover, you fought a good fight. You kept the faith and you finished your court. I think you had a good argument. If that truck was actually something that he purchased on his own, in his name, with his own money, and didn't put alleged fictitious people on a document with fictitious emails, okay? Allegedly. I think you would have had a great argument. But then Madam Shirley Strawberry, the co-host of the Steve Harvey Morning Show, came in and blew up the entire argument in one sitting. Something after she testified, It took the judge, what, less than a month to come up with a decision after she testified. And it only took them 4 pages. We waited all this time and we got 4 pages. Okay. I want to thank you, Aaliyah TV. She did let me know that this order was filed. I want to shout you out for looking out for your girl. I appreciate it. But anyway, I want you all to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're going to get into it. I'm going to let my co-counsel there take a rest. She busy. She been working this morning over there on the Steve Harvey Morning Show, so we're going to let her relax. Mm, 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 mm. Integrity said Lady Strawberry took her throne with class. She didn't come out here and bash this man. She didn't respond to all the people that were talking about her. She didn't engage. You had to be embarrassed to hear those phone calls of him talking to her. He'd get off the phone with you and call her. And then gets on the phone with you professing to be a man of God. You praying and you know God is going to come through. See, the problem is you got to read the whole Bible. Your prayers will be blocked when you mistreat your wife. Because a covenant is more serious than people think that it is. Read your Bible that you up here professing. And I'm not here to preach. But I'm just saying, we can't just use God as a genie in a bottle whenever we want something, but then you don't want to follow nothing else. We can't half read the word. All right. So let's pull this up. Make sure that you guys, again, hit the like button. It's enough of y'all in here. We're going to get started. All right. We're going to get started. This is the state of Georgia versus Ernest Williams, a.k.a. Ernest Lavelle Williams, a.k.a. Nesto. And this is indictment number 24 SC001723 because there are a few other indictments out there. So I just wanted to make sure we know which one this is. And it is entitled Order Denying Defendants to Motion to Suppress. There's an extra 2 in there that shouldn't be there, but you know. We're picking up what Your Honor is putting down. The above reference case came before the court on December 18, 2024. As I told y'all, what we in September? This was almost a year ago when this first was filed. 3 months short of a year. Then on August 11, 2025, there was subsequent hearing of which testimony was given of Shirley Strawberry. So on August 11, 2025, for a hearing on defendant's motion to suppress vehicle search. As set forth below, the court, having considered the arguments raised in the motion, the state's response and opposition thereto, defendant's supplemental brief, the state's motion to dismiss, defendant's motion to suppress, the arguments by counsel at the hearing, and the applicable law hereby denies the same. Let's get into some factual and procedural backgrounds. Like I said, this is a quick read. In a 39-count indictment, defendant is charged with violation of the Georgia RICO Act, false swearing, theft, identity fraud, false documents, and other related charges allegedly arising from acts beginning on December 2009 and continuing through June 2022. On September 30th, 2024, defendant moved to suppress a vehicle search and all evidence obtained from the search of a white Ford F-350 by Roswell Police Department in violation of the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Georgia. Specifically, defendant asserts that on or about July 7, 2022, which was the date of his arrest, he's been in jail ever since, Roswell police personnel observed him park and exit the white Ford F-350 at a parking lot located at 1070 Alpharetta Highway. Defendant states that he was arrested in a parking lot on pending arrest warrants while he was taking pictures of a quote for lease sign. After his arrest, law enforcement impounded and towed the truck to the police department lot. The next day, law enforcement obtained a search warrant for the truck and seized items from inside the vehicle. Defendant asserts that search and seizure were performed without a valid search warrant. And it sounded like after this hearing that we're going to talk about on December 18th, when Detective Fields testified, it did sound like the judge was leaning towards their way. It really, really did. And he said it. So what exactly would be suppressed? Because I'm inclined, to, so the unofficial opinion was that he may be leaning towards the defendant, Mr. Williams, which is what it was giving. So at the December 18, 2024 hearing, Roswell detective in Fields testified that in June 2022, Mr. Williams had multiple pending warrants for his arrest. Detective Fields further testified that she observed defendant driving the truck at issue, pull into a parking lot, park, exit the truck, and begin taking pictures. Detective Fields then took defendant into custody based on the arrest warrant. The truck was impounded and investigated for investigative purposes and towed to the police lot, and search warrant was obtained. A copy of the search warrant was introduced into evidence as State's Exhibit 1. On January 6, 2025, at the court's request, defendant filed a supplemental brief to suppress vehicle search and all derivative evidence. In the supplemental brief, defendant lists all the evidence he contends should be excluded because of the illegal search. So, again, the court requested that Mr. Williams' attorney submit a supplement to say, hey, if I were to hypothetically grant your motion to suppress, what are you saying are the items that should be suppressed? So this is what this motion, this response, I guess, or this document was filed in January 6, 2025, was supposed to cover. On January 24, 2025, the state filed a motion to dismiss defendant's motion to suppress on the basis that defendant lacks standing to challenge the search and seizure of the Ford F-350. So it appears that after the court kind of showed it was leaning towards one way, Fulton County DA, ADA, Wooten, filed a motion to dismiss. And he basically said, you don't even have standing to even try to suppress it. And he premised it on the fact that this vehicle was procured in fraud, which means you don't have an expectation of privacy in this truck. So we could take what we want to take. You don't have an expectation of privacy. You're not the one that should be able to come to the court and say that it was that they illegally searched a vehicle that you shouldn't have been in the first place. Okay. On August 11, 2025, which is less than a month ago, the court held a subsequent hearing and allowed the state to present evidence on its motion to dismiss. At the hearing, the state called Shirley Strawberry, the purported registered owner of the truck in question, and District Attorney Investigator Billy Ansell. Ms. Strawberry testified that she did not purchase, apply for credit, register, sign for, or authorize anyone to sign anything on her behalf relating to the truck. She stated that she did not complete, sign, or authorize anyone to sign State's Exhibit 1, the retail motor vehicle credit application, the retail installment contract, and security agreement. Ms. Strawberry further testified that she knew defendant had purchased the truck, but did not authorize him to use or know that he used her name or signature on her behalf. Investigator Ansell identified and introduced States Exhibit 1 through 7, particularly States Exhibit 1, the retail motor vehicle credit application, the retail installment contract, and security agreement. Based on Investigator Ansell's research, all of the supporting information on the retail motor vehicle credit application, telephone numbers, email address, and reference individuals did not relate to Ms. Strawberry, but was connected to the defendant. So essentially, everything on the application was not anything that connected to Shirley Strawberry, even though this was supposed to be her application. Your references, how you gonna put references on there that had nothing to do with her? So they had an investigator get on the stand. I didn't watch that testimony, but who allegedly, according to this, basically said nothing and nobody was connected to Miss Shirley Strawberry. Thank you so much, GC, for gifting 5 memberships. I appreciate that. LK, thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much for supporting. And Jennifer, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Black Hourglass, thank you for being a member for 17 months. I appreciate that as well. So there are the factual basis for the court's decision. So we're going to get into the legal authority and the analysis applying the facts to the law. Y'all ready? Did you hit that like button? I know you did. Georgia law is clear that a defendant cannot assert a violation of his or her Fourth Amendment rights in regard to the search of a vehicle where he or she has no proprietary interest in it or legitimate expectation of privacy regarding the vehicle or its content. See Bergeson v. State 267, Georgia 102 at page 105, which is a 96 case, and U.S. v. Salvucci 448, that's the United States Supreme Court case, 83 at page 85 to 86, and that's a 1980 case. On the contrary, as one knowingly using a stolen vehicle on a public roadway, a defendant, quote, probably is in consistent and constant expectation of intrusion by the authority, end quote. That's in Bergeson v. State. In a case involving the search of a fraudulently obtained hotel room, the Court of Appeals reasoned, although registered guests of a hotel room can have a reasonable expectation of privacy in their room, one who obtains a room by fraud can have no reasonable expectation of privacy in the room, like one in possession of a stolen car. Mere unlawful possession of a room does not alone warrant a reasonable expectation of freedom from governmental intrusion. So that's in State v. Del Vecchio, 301 Georgia App 560 at page 562, which is a 2009 case, and the citations, meaning where they got that quote from, has been omitted. Then we have Thomas v. State 274 Georgia 156 at page 160, which is a 2001 case, which provides one driving a stolen vehicle has no reasonable expectation of privacy. In this case, so now we got the law and we're going to apply it to the facts of which we just went over in the beginning on what all the facts of this is related to this motion. In this case, the evidence shows that defendant obtained the Ford F-350 by fraud. Specifically, the documents regarding the truck show that it was purchased in Miss Strawberry's name, although Miss Strawberry testified that she did not purchase, sign for, or authorize anyone to sign anything on her behalf relating to the truck. Miss Strawberry further testified that although her signature appears on the application, she did not authorize defendant to use her name or sign anything on her behalf. Accordingly, the court finds that the defendant lacked any expectation of privacy in the seized and searched Ford F-350. See Thomas v. State, 274 Georgia at 160. So what did we learn here? I really believe, and again, I'm speculating, if Ernest Williams was not talking to Sonia Durham, I really believe if those phone calls did not happen, as far as them talking on the phone, I think that Shirley probably would have stayed away from this as much as she possibly can, because she found out it was in her name. And even though she found out it was in her name when he was in jail, because I don't think she may not have known when the arrest happened, even though, I have my, you know, opinions on some of that. But if she just assuming arguendo, like she said in her testimony, she had no clue until he was arrested. She still was talking to him, still paying his attorney, still putting money, taking his phone calls. And by that time, you knew that if you were the one that had to pay for it, like she testified to, she called and found out about it because she was asking them about it because she had to pay for it. I don't think she would have been trying to enforce anything that had to do with her or wanted to even be connected to this. But then you go out here and you talking to this lady and y'all talking about this lady. You're allowing another woman to talk about this lady. When you do that, when you decide to have outside extramarital situations, you have a woman that knows more about what's going on than your wife. That woman is almost controlling your household to a degree, which is dumb. And this is why I said all of this stuff was probably going to blow up in your face. So, as it looked like in the beginning, the judge was like, okay, based on just applying the facts as you being the owner of this truck and how all of this happened, they really don't seem like they had a reason to search your vehicle. And that was partly why I believe, of course, I'm speculating, that you had the pictures that were found in the computer where they just let that go and wasn't even worried, was like, we got other stuff. So they did that. Now they did it without prejudice, which means if they choose to bring it back, they can. Now, whether this opinion makes them want to or not, I don't know if they want the headache or if they just feel like they got enough, that they can deal with now that they don't got to add to it. But nonetheless, why would she not say and be honest about you being the one to fill out this application? Why would she not get on that stand and just say, I didn't know nothing about it till I called the people and they told me about it? Because you show such disrespect and then trying to pretend on these jail calls like, I don't even care, I ain't worried about that, I'm just gonna go on with what I know God got me. Sir, you were married. What are you talking about? Don't read half the word, read all the word. That's all I'm asking you. So literally the reasoning why is because the Shirley Strawberry testimony is why it's being suppressed. That's the reasoning of the court. It is being suppressed. It's not going to be suppressed. Rather, it was denied. Let me correct myself. It was denied because Shirley Strawberry said you did not have permission to use her name, her social security number. All these people that were attached to it had something to do with you. I just don't, in my opinion, think that she would have even cared about any of this stuff. So congratulations, Goofy. Letting people tell you, these people on the internet, I don't know you to care about you like that. This is literally just me bringing forth the law and bringing forth your case. That's it. So, but you let somebody tell you, I remember that statement you made. What's up with this lawyer in Detroit? I heard she talking reckless. So that's all you heard. You didn't hear nothing else that I was putting out there. Nothing else to try to get you to relax and chill. I get it. It's probably lonely. You've been in there for 3 years and you want a pen pal. They got a whole pen pal list for that. You could have been having pen pals by now. But you turned around and this is what your goofy self decided to do. I don't know. Shout out to Shirley Strawberry. She wasn't even trying to do her big one. I think she really was trying to move on with her life and act like this never happened. Wasn't even trying. The man did you dirty, was still married to other people, allegedly. According to the paperwork, at least till 2021 on one of them. We don't know about Edith yet. But at least was married when y'all got married in 2015. And she has no incentive to be like, well, I did kind of let him just kind of do what he wanted to do with my name. No incentive to even make that argument. She's like, I didn't know. No, I did not. This is the first time that I'm hearing this document. That's what she said. So I don't know what to say, guys. That's you should feel real goofy right now. You really, really should. Because when I tell you, when I listen to it, I said, okay, Hoover got some good arguments. I'm going to give him his props. He had some really good arguments on why, if you were the rightful owner of that truck, suppression may have been valid in this case. He really did. But then, goofy, you didn't realize it wasn't in your name and you got it by saying it by filling out documents. Where did you even get this truck from that somebody doesn't even have to show their face or prove it or anything? That's a whole nother conversation. Apparently, this is the new way they do things. It wasn't like that last time I got a car. I had to go up there, married or not. And my husband was the one that picked out everything, looked at everything, did all of that. And they still was like, you got to take your happy self up here and sign these papers. That's what they told me. And I had to go. And I gave permission. And I still had to go because it was going to be in my name. Because it was mine. I just ain't want to go get it. Thank you, Lady Ella, for the super chat. You said, hi, Pammy Pam. You are on the road. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for supporting the platform. I appreciate it. And what was the testimony? Let me see. I was going to pick up, show the testimony for that, because Sylvia was the only one that got it on video. I don't know if y'all saw it or not. But yeah, her testimony was basically, I ain't had nothing to do with this. I didn't give anybody any permission. What is this? She didn't know he was married. She ain't know none of that stuff. Cyberworld said, I absolutely believe Shirley was setting him up on the phone to admit to or for her to deny, knowing that he had forced her name on documents. 504 said, this is how you get your lick. Mad and didn't even have to try. Didn't even have to try. She didn't even. For those of you just coming in, this is what Shirley just her testimony just did for her ex-husband. Yeah. Ty said, I'm also not entirely convinced that someone didn't go up there as Shirley if the dealership didn't make exceptions because he got it during the pandemic. I mean, maybe because it was during the pandemic, they did things differently. That's a valid point. And somebody could have went up there. Heck, we know that there were fake lawyers that were, this is not alleged. This was something that she admitted to. Fake lawyers out here. So, I mean, why wouldn't it be a fake Shirley? I don't know. Could have. Mm-hmm. I can't. This is Shirley. This is Shirley right now. She was like, yes, I didn't authorize anything. Let's pull that up. Let's pull up that video right quick. Let's see. Um, let me find Shirley Strawberry. Let's see. Is this no, this is a different guy. Mhm, mm, mm, mm. Let me find it. Hold on one second. Let me go back. Hold on. So this looks like it might be part of it because she started out. Hold on. I'm about to pull this up for y'all that didn't watch it. This is from Sylvia's page. Um, you said, hold on one second. Lisa said, are the requirements the same at a dealership versus a buy here, finance here car shop? I don't have that answer. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but it doesn't seem like it should have happened. So I don't know. But hey, who am I? People do different things in other spots. So let me see. Hold on. So this was the testimony that blew up the spot.
So I'm going to move down a little bit at the bottom of that first box. You see there's a box labeled home phone.
Yes.
Could you read what that phone number is, please?
678-956-2829.
And is that your phone number?
No.
Has that ever been your phone number?
No.
Do you know whose phone number that is?
I do not.
Mm.
And then to the right and up just a little bit, there's a box. You see a box that says preferred email?
Yes.
Could you read what that email address is?
I might need my glasses, but I think it says NUBIARA54 @yahoo.com.
And is that your email address?
No.
Has that ever been your email address?
No, it has not.
Do you know whose email address that is?
I do not.
And that goes to the strawberry glasses.
If she needs some, yes.
I might. Thank you.
I might. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank
And
you.
so just moving through the document, I'm going to go down to the second bold box. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And do you see towards the bottom of that box, there's a line that says nearest relative?
Yes.
And could you read the name for us, please, of what's listed there?
Carlos Lamont.
Do you have any relatives named Carlos Lamont?
No.
Do you know who Carlos Lamont is?
No.
Do you have any knowledge of Mr. Williams having an associate or a friend named Lamont?
Yes.
Could you tell us who that person is?
I just know him as a friend of Mr. Williams. And I didn't even know his name was Carlos.
I didn't even know his name.
And then you see under that line with Carlos Lamont, down and over just a little bit, there's a box that says phone number.
Yes.
And it's the phone number 424-268-0141.
Yes.
And do you have any knowledge of whose phone number that is?
No.
No.
Now moving down another line, there's a line that says additional reference. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Right at the very bottom. And I'm sorry, right at the very bottom of that second bold box, right under Carlos Lamont.
Oh, yes.
And could you read that name, please?
Falta Ellis.
Do you know anyone by the name of Falta Ellis?
No.
And then do you see there's a phone number to the right of that?
Yes.
404-454-5653.
Yes.
Is that phone number familiar to you at all?
No.
Also want to move back up to the beginning of that box. You see there's a line that says current employment title.
Yes.
What's listed there?
I heard host Steve Harvey.
Is that how you would describe your current employment title?
No. No.
How would you describe it? If someone asks you what your title is, how would you describe it?
I would say co-host of the Steve Harvey Morning Show. I would say that.
All right, I'm going to flip now to page 4 of the document. You'll see at the top it says joint credit intention signature.
Yes.
Do you see about halfway down that document, there's a line that says credit application signature?
Yes.
And do you see under that line, there's a box that says your name, Shirley Strawberry?
Yes.
Do you see what appears to be a signature above that?
Yes.
Is that your signature?
No.
Do you
No.
authorize anybody to sign this document for you?
No.
And before this issue came up in court, did you have any knowledge that your signature had been used on this application?
No.
Now going down just a little bit, there's another line that says marketing consent. Do you see that?
Yes.
And do you see there's another, what appears to be signature in your name?
Yes.
And did you sign that?
No.
Did you authorize anyone to sign your name there?
No.
All right, now I'm going to flip a few more pages ahead. First, you'll see retail installment contract and security agreement at the very top. Let me know when you're on that page, please.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you'll flip 2 more times from there. And do you see another page that appears to have a signature in your name on it?
Yes.
Did you sign this page?
No.
Did you authorize anyone to sign this page on your behalf?
No.
And could you flip to the very last page for me, please? And do you see at the top right side of the very last page, there appears to be another signature in your,
Yes.
did you sign there?
No.
Did you authorize anyone else to sign on your behalf?
No.
And then moving down this page on the left side, you see there's another signature that appears to be your name.
Yes.
Did you sign that one?
No.
Or did you authorize anyone to sign that one on your behalf?
No.
And you see to the right of that bottom signature, there's another one appears to be a signature in the name of Desiree Torres.
Yes.
Are you familiar with anyone by that name?
No.
Now, Ms. Strawberry, you testified that today is the first time you're seeing this document.
Yes.
When did you first become aware of the existence of this F-350? Not your involvement in it, but just that the defendant had come to own this Ford F-350.
That has to be, well, I'm not sure, but I'll say 2020 or 2019, somewhere around in there. 2019 or 2020.
Do you have any reason to believe that you wouldn't have known about it recently after he purchased the vehicle?
No.
And when do you remember him purchasing the vehicle?
Yes.
And did you have any idea at that time, really anything about the purchase of the vehicle, other than it was being purchased?
No.
When did you become aware, or did you at some point prior to today become aware that the vehicle had been registered in your name?
Well, it was after, I guess he had got put in jail and I had to start paying the payments. Then I realized it was in my name. I didn't know it was in my name.
And so, when you refer to paying the payments, are you talking about just a monthly car note?
Yes, the monthly car note, yes.
About how much do you pay on that car note?
$899 and some change, $899 and some change.
Each month?
Yes,
And are you still making those payments?
yes.
And even though this vehicle was purchased in your name without your knowledge, why did you decide to make these payments? Keep making these payments?
Because it was in my name and I didn't want my credit to go bad or whatever, because it was in my name. I had to pay it.
At the time the vehicle was purchased, did you know that Mr. Williams was married to more than one person?
No,
And had you known that Mr. Williams was married to more than one person, would you have married him?
no,
And had you known that Mr. Williams was married to more than one person, would you have authorized him to purchase a vehicle using your personal information?
no.
I have no further questions. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That was enough. I mean, so that is the premise of this order. For those of you that just came in, there was an order that was filed by the judge denying the motion to suppress. It was basically based on Miss Shirley Strawberry's testimony saying you did not have permission to get this vehicle. You got it in my name without my permission, and it's a no for me. Thank you, 504, for the super chat. He said Goofy who fumbled a big bag. Irie C said member for 17 months. Thank you so much. Mrs. C, thank you for the super chat. You said I was watching the Addison's closing argument, but had to come over here. Thank you so much for coming over here to support. Work in progress said why Hoover didn't use the email Sonia had proven Shirley knew and Ernie was innocent. She said the emails told everything. Is that what she said? Is that what she said? Okay. Got it. All right. Thank you so much for that. Butterfly Empress says Shirley handled her business with class. That's why her stars aligned. She wasn't even trying, honey. She ain't fight back. She went to that divorce proceeding and said, I don't want an annulment. I just want a divorce. He takes stuff in his name and I take things in my name. No fighting. I don't want nothing he has. I'll just deal with the debt he put me in and that's that. I'll just walk away. No vindictiveness, no vendetta. She just wanted to get up out this situation so she could move on with her life. That's all she wanted. And here, because of the truck, she ends up being the person as to why this gets that his motion is denied. Very interesting. Very interesting. 504 says she has peace. This is the document for those just coming in because it's way more than when we started. But make sure you hit the like button on your way in. So this is the document. This is order denying defendant's motion to suppress. The above reference case came before the court on December 18, 2024 and August 11, 2025 for a hearing on defendant's motion to suppress vehicle search. As set forth below, the court, having considered the arguments raised in the motion, the state's response and opposition thereto, defendant's supplemental brief, the state's motion to dismiss defendant's motion to suppress, the arguments by counsel at the hearing, and the applicable law hereby denies the same. In a 39-count indictment, defendant is charged with violation of the Georgia RICO Act, false swearing, theft, identity fraud, false documents, and other related charges allegedly arising from acts beginning on December 2009. Continuing through June 2022. On September 30th, 2024, defendant moved to suppress a vehicle search and all evidence obtained from the search of a white Ford F-350 by the Roswell Police Department in violation of the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Georgia. Specifically, defendant asserts that on or about July 7, 2022, Roswell police personnel observed him parked and exit the vehicle, the white Ford F-350, at a parking lot located at 1070 Alpharetta Highway. Defendant states that he was arrested in said parking lot on pending arrest warrants while he was taking pictures of a for lease sign. So he's trying to find him another building for one of his business ventures. After his arrest, law enforcement impounded and towed the truck to the police department lot, and they found all types of stuff. Okay, they impounded it. The next day, they obtained a search warrant for the truck and seized items from inside the vehicle. We all know what those items were. There were some black toys in there, allegedly. There was some liquid V up in the bag up in there, allegedly. There was a laptop in there that they found some alleged kitty pics in there that was in there. There were documents, receipts that had credit card numbers written on there. There was a lot going on in that car. Defendant asserts that search and seizures were performed without a valid search warrant. On December 18th, we had Roswell detective and Fields testify that in June 2022, Mr. Williams had multiple pending warrants for the arrest. Detective Fields further testified that she observed defendant driving the truck at issue, pull into a parking lot, park, exit the truck, and begin taking pictures. Detective Fields then took defendant into custody based on the arrest warrants. The truck was impounded for investigative purposes and towed to the police lot, and a search warrant was obtained. A copy of the search warrant was introduced into evidence as State's Exhibit 1. On January 6, 2025, at the court's request, defendant filed a supplemental brief to suppress vehicle search and all derivative evidence. In the supplemental brief, defendant lists all the evidence he contends should be excluded because of the illegal search. On January 24, 2025, the state filed a motion to dismiss defendant's motion to suppress on the basis that defendant lacks standing to challenge the search of and seizure of the Ford F-350. Now, this is where Shirley Strawberry comes in and changes the game. Okay, on August 11, 2025, the court held a subsequent hearing and allowed the state to present evidence on its motion to dismiss. At the hearing, the state called Shirley Strawberry, the purported registered owner of the truck in question, and District Attorney Investigator Billy Ansell. Ms. Strawberry testified, as we just heard on that video, that she did not purchase, apply for credit, register, sign for, or authorize anyone to sign anything on her behalf relating to the truck. She stated that she did not complete, sign, or authorize anyone to sign the State's Exhibit 1, the Retail Motor Vehicle Credit App, the Retail Installment Contract and Security Agreement. Ms. Strawberry further testified that she knew defendant had purchased the truck, but did not authorize him to use or know that he used her name or signature on her behalf. Investigator Ansell identified and introduced States Exhibit 1 through 7, particularly the States Exhibit 1, the Retail Motor Vehicle Credit App, the Retail Installment Contract, and Security Agreement. Based on Investigator Ansell's research, all of the supporting information on the Retail Motor Vehicle Credit application, the telephone number, email address, and reference individuals did not relate to Ms. Strawberry, but was connected to the defendant. Then we went over the legal authority because you need, where is your authority? Okay, the court came with its authority and said that it is clear in Georgia that a defendant cannot assert a violation of his or her Fourth Amendment right in regard to the search of a vehicle where he or she has no proprietary interest in it or legitimate expectation of privacy regarding the vehicle or its content. On the contrary, as one knowingly using a stolen vehicle on a public roadway, a defendant probably is in constant expectation of intrusion by the authorities. In a case involving the search of a fraudulently obtained hotel room, the Court of Appeals reasoned, although registered guests of a hotel room can have a reasonable expectation of privacy in their room, one who obtains a room by fraud can have no reasonable expectation of privacy in that room. like one in possession of a stolen car. Mere unlawful possession of a room does not alone warrant a reasonable expectation of freedom from government intrusion. Then we have the case law. So then the court applied the facts of this case, i.e., Shirley Strawberry's testimony, to the law that it just cited. And this is what it opines. In this case, the evidence shows that defendant obtained the Ford F-350 by fraud. Specifically, the documents regarding the truck show that it was purchased in Miss Strawberry's name, although Miss Strawberry testified that she did not purchase, sign for, or authorize anyone to sign anything on her behalf relating to the truck. Miss Strawberry further testified that although her signature appears on the application, she did not authorize defendant to use her name or sign anything on her behalf. She ain't had nothing to do with it, okay? Accordingly, the court finds the defendant lacked any expectation of privacy in the seized and searched Ford F-350. In conclusion, in light of the foregoing, defendant's motion to suppress is hereby denied. So ordered this 4th day of September 2025 by the Honorable Eric K. Dunaway. And that is the order of the court. Any questions? Any questions? B. Ann said this is getting worse, sir. Not worse, sir. Miss MJ said, let's do pearls for the trial. So they want all of you guys to come in uniform and wear pearls in support of and solidarity with Miss Shirley Ann Strawberry. I might have made Ann up. I don't know her middle name. Just making that up. Nesto Shackle Shuffle says Sonia Durham Waller Cocker needs to be, you know what? Barred. Sherman, thank you for the super sticker. Leandra said, thank you, Pam, for the update. Hubby told me to stop grinning. Not you over there cheesing. Not you happy with the outcome. Huh? Work in progress said Per Hoover Shirley supposed to look in the glove box of every vehicle she get and to make sure it don't belong to her. She's supposed to know. I will say, and I said this in my membership when we first went over this video, and I'll do the other part of the video too. It's only fair that it is interesting to me, but I'm just nosy. That's what I've learned over the years, that I pay attention to a lot of things. And I always look at situations like I may have to pick you out of a lineup. They may call me to testify. And I've been like that since I was younger. So I may pay attention to details that other people don't. But the whole tag thing, if it has your birthday, that just really was just like, how did you not know that was your birthday on there? But apparently, you know, everybody don't look at that. That's what my husband told me. Everybody ain't paying that no attention. What are you talking about? Which is true. That may just be me. But yeah, I was the person to take pictures of license plates. I got a whole bunch of pictures of people's license plates when I used to date, and I used to send them to my family. One thing I'm not going to be is an unidentified person because somebody is crazy. I just think that way, and I know it probably ain't normal, and it's probably trauma related or something. I don't know. I'm one of them people that go to sleep to a Dateline. So I take that what you will. But this is the cross examination, which looks like it's about 13 minutes. So we're gonna watch that as well.
Good morning, Mr. Strawberry. Good morning. My name is Sean Hoover. I have a couple of questions.
That's true, Miss J. She don't sound like she drove anywhere. That's true. Look at Shirley. Look at that eye. Look at that side eye.
Your testimony just now that you started paying, or that you realized you started paying for the truck yourself once Mr. Williams was arrested. Is that true?
I started paying for it, yes, once it was arrested. Yes.
So just so we have a better idea of what you actually mean by that, did you apply like your bank account to the system so the money would come out of your bank account?
No,
Okay. Did you go to the place where the vehicle was purchased and say, hey, I'm gonna start taking over payments, here's all my information? So between the first time it was purchased, up until, like you said, Mr. Williams got arrested, you started paying for it, did you change any of the account information so it was personally coming from you and not from Mr. Williams?
did I change any of the account information?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
Okay. Between the first time the vehicle was actually purchased up until where you claim you finally realized about it when he was arrested, did you change the account information on the insurance for the vehicle?
The insurance information, well, no, I didn't change the insurance information, I don't think. I'm having to think about this.
Take your time.
But I did have to include it in my insurance so I could pay it. I hope that answers your question.
It did. And just for clarification purposes, the account that the money was coming out of to purchase the vehicle never changed between the first day it was purchased up to where you claimed that you started paying for it yourself. That account never changed. Correct?
Well, I can't say that for sure. Well, I can't say that for sure. I started paying it out of my personal account, yes, and I never did that before.
So what he was trying to get at is making it seem like the money always came out the same account that she had access to. So what he was trying to elicit from her that didn't quite work was the account that you're paying for it out of now is the same account it was coming out of. So it gives the impression of you knew that this was happening. She immediately said, well, I don't know about that. I started personally having to pay for it out of my account. So that just took the air out of that one. So
is it your testimony? Well, let me ask you this. The account, the first account that was used, the first bank account that was used to open this vehicle, to purchase this vehicle, was that the personal account that you continue to make payments out of?
I don't know anything about that, of the account that the payments were made from. All I know is I paid it out of my account once he was arrested.
And as you testified before, you didn't go to the company where he purchased the vehicle and said, hey, put this in my personal account so I can start paying for it. You didn't do that.
No.
Okay. And same for the insurance. You didn't go to the insurance company and say, hey, put this in my personal account so I can start paying for it. You didn't do that.
No, they asked me to pay for it. The insurance company did.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So you testified that you continued to make payments on it because you didn't want it to affect your bank or your credit score, correct?
Yes.
So at the point where you claim you realize that that the money's not coming out of your account, did you ever go to the company and say, hey, I want to return this vehicle. I didn't want to purchase this in the first place?
Yes. I mean, I didn't go to the company because they were in, it's a company out of Los Angeles. But yeah, I didn't, of course, I didn't want to do that. I didn't know it was in my name. It was a surprise. Once I found out it was in my name, I had to pay for it. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I understand that you said you started paying for it, but my specific question was, once you're saying that you found out it was in your name, did you ever go to that company where the vehicle was purchased and say, I do not want this vehicle, I did not purchase it?
I didn't go to them, no, because they're in Los Angeles. But I did have phone conversations with them, yes.
And you, well, without giving us hearsay, so you told them you did not want the vehicle anymore because you didn't pay for it?
Maybe not in those exact words, but I did say, why am I responsible for paying for this car now?
And when you were divorced, you didn't then say, Your Honor, this isn't my vehicle, I have nothing to do with it, get rid of it. You didn't tell the judge in your divorce hearing that, did you?
No, that didn't come up.
So can you explain to this court, what steps did you take to get this vehicle that you never knew anything about out of your name and off of your account?
Well, I had a conversation with the finance company, Westlake Financial, I believe it is, and I told them the circumstances of, I didn't know this truck was in my name. Why do I still have to pay for it? And they said, because of that, it's in your name. And basically that was it.
When did you have that conversation with Westlake Financial?
It had to be about 2022, I think, about 2022.
So, and if I heard you correctly, you found out about the vehicle in 2019 or 2020, correct?
Yes, that he had purchased the vehicle and was, yeah, it was his vehicle, yes.
And the first time you said anything about you didn't want to leave your name to Westlake Financial was in 2022.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And did you ever go to the district attorney's office between 2022 and today and say, look, these are the steps I took with Westlake Financial to get this out of my hand?
Absolutely not. I didn't know that I could do that, but now that I know that.
Between that conversation that we're hearing about from 2022 with Westlake Financial, did you ever go to Officer Fields or any other law enforcement officer and say, look, these are the steps I'm taking to get this vehicle out of my hand?
No, I didn't do that. I did discuss it with him though.
Which officer?
I don't know. I don't know which one right now at this moment. But yes, I did ask them about the vehicle. Do I still have to pay for it?
Do you remember if it was a male or a female?
Maybe a male, yeah.
Do you remember around what time of year it
No,
was?
I don't.
Mr. Strawberry,
Yes.
at the time that, I guess all of this was going on with the vehicle, how many different residences did you live in with Mr. Williams?
With the vehicle, just one.
Okay, which residence was that?
21, 55 Benton Creek Manor.
And how was let me back up and ask you this. Did you sign the paperwork for 2155 Main Creek Manor?
No,
Okay. Who did that?
he did.
Mr. Williams?
Mr. Williams, yes.
And the money that was being paid for 2155 Main Creek Manor, whose account was that coming out of?
Mr. Williams.
The reason why I think this question is interesting is because we know the history too over here about that house, of which there was an eviction. Shirley thought that they left because she complained about a bug. He used that as a way to get out of the house. Next thing you know, which to me would be another issue, he was paying the rent, so she thought, obviously, because they got evicted up out that house. And then she had a garnishment for that house that is on file. So that's a whole nother issue. Like, this is something that you allegedly have done a few times. I'm just saying, because she had to know with her garnishments, it's no way that type of money ain't coming out your check and you don't know about it. Remember, that's what the Erica King part of when she comes in, because she allegedly was acting like she was a lawyer too in this eviction for this same address. I wouldn't even brought that up, but
The houses on Pine Grove, do you have anything to do with those houses?
I'm not familiar with the house on Pine Grove. I didn't live there.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess my last question about the vehicle is it your testimony today that you didn't set up the insurance with your license, your information, your insurance on the vehicle that day?
What day?
The day that the day that before it was actually purchased?
Yes, that is my testimony. I did not do that.
Mm-mm.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, when you were speaking
She
with the
will.
state just a while ago, you said that you realized later on that Mr. Williams was married to other people. Is that correct?
I may have said I was told that,
So,
yeah,
okay.
not that I realized it.
So that was my question. Is there anything that you can show this court today that says, look, this is how I can tell or prove to you that I know Mr. Williams was married to multiple people during that time?
That I can today, I can talk to my divorce attorney and find out, but other than that, no.
Okay, and we're gonna talk about her in a second, but just so right now, your testimony is, there's nothing that you can show the court yourself to say, this is how I personally know Mr. Williams was married to multiple people. It's just what other people told you.
It's what my lawyers told me, yes.
Now, your divorce attorney, when you were in the hearing to finalize everything, you didn't get an annulment, did you?
No,
You got an actual divorce, is that correct?
yes.
And did your divorce attorney tell you the difference between an annulment and what a divorce actually means?
Did my divorce attorney tell me that?
Yes, ma'am. So, the person who represented you in your divorce, that also told you Mr. Williams is married to multiple people, did explain to you the difference between an annulment and an
I
actual
know,
divorce.
Judge, because this is getting privilege, attorney-client privilege.
Well, it's not, I'm sorry. Okay. Well, it's not when we're specifically addressing this bigamy issue, and the state brought it up. Now we know the only information that this witness knows about this is from her attorney. So I can ask this specific question. We're not going into major detail. This is a specific question based off the information that she's already provided, that the state literally walked in.
Well, and I think you asked it and she's answered it, that she got the information from her lawyer, so if there's another question, I'll sustain and ask and answer the objection, and you may ask another question.
Thank you. I have just no further questions right now. Thank you.
No redirect, Judge, may she be excused?
I want to make sure I understand, so before she steps down and the witness can testify versus the lawyers testifying, Ms. Strawberry, the truck that you've been questioned about, is that truck currently registered in your name?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
When did it get registered in your name?
Register in my name?
Yes.
I mean, you know what, let me say this. The truck, I haven't driven it for years, or I don't drive it, but I don't know when it was registered in my name. I don't know, I assume that when it was purchased, I just don't know that
Okay.
answer.
Okay, all right, but you currently, you now know that the registration is in your name,
Yes,
but you don't know when it was first registered in your name.
no, I do not.
All right. Okay, that's what I had. Anything else from the state?
Mayor, I actually would ask, just a couple more questions. Ms. Strawberry, when you were divorced, was there a trial, like where witnesses came and testified?
No,
And did Mr. Williams contest the divorce, or was it uncontested?
it was uncontested.
I have no further questions.
For the defense attorney.
No question, Your Honor.
Look how she was looking at him like, you got something else to say? You got something else to say? No, somebody asked about Bent Creek Manor. No, absolutely. This is the letter. It was a bunch of exhibits. There were a bunch of text messages that were attached. It was a lot going on with Bent Creek Manor that I'm sure Shirley would say, I ain't never seen none of this a day in my life too. By when you're by looking at it. So this is a letter. I had to pull up the old archives. So this is when they were trying to stay. He was trying to get them to stay in the house. To whom this may concern, we will pay the rent. I have invested over $60,000 in my home at 2155 Bent Creek Manor, Alpharetta, Georgia, and needed renovation. Unfortunately, I have recently taken a substantial amount pay cut from my job because of the coronavirus or COVID-19 pandemic outbreak. I do have a house in California that I pay bills at, which was stated on my lease. After the automatic bill payments for my house in Inglewood came out, I was left with less than $2,000. The rent there was $4,000, and the utilities are both set up to automatic payments. I was unaware of the pay cut. I did not have time to stop the automatic payments before they came out. I will have an annual bonus in December that will pay for the rent at 2155 Bent Creek. Now, she just testified the money ain't come out of her account. She ain't had nothing to do with it. I did ask Miss Don to make partial payments and was declined this option. I have attached to this letter the pictures of the text and the text itself. I have recently been served a request to enter my home for biannual property inspection, but I have already had my house technically inspected 3 times already this year for the water floods in the basement when it rains. I may not be available on the desired date of October 27, 2020. I also have attached to this letter pictures of the basement floods I was inspected for. Thank you. And they got Shirley signing it. And that lease was in her name as well. So they had a bunch of text messages. We went over this like a long time ago. But I remember, let me see if I could find that real quick. They had a bunch of exhibits because they were fighting them trying to stay in the house. And the coronavirus, I guess that wasn't true or something about her actually having a cut. So this allegedly from Shirley. I will hold off with eviction. Well, this is from the eviction, the property management company's place. I will hold off with eviction till after tomorrow if you can pay current balance with certified funds. Hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you so very much. Who sounds like that? Thank you so very much. Hello, Shirley. Didn't know what time you might be able to stop by the office. Around 4:00 p.m. today. Great, thanks. You're welcome. You are welcome. Okay. Hi, Dawn. My apologies. I cannot make it today. I will have a cashier's check for you tomorrow. Dominique will call you about September's rent. She has the receipt for payment. So then they asked about her being in the office. They said, not right now, but Ben is in the office. Dominique says she dropped it off, but no payment. Shirley, do you have any idea what's going on with your payment? This is getting to be quite time consuming. Shirley, did you know how soon you can get to the office? Hi, Don. I'm planning to get there around 3:00 this afternoon. Okay, please do. Last week we had to stay late waiting. Thanks. Hi, Don. I'm running late, about 30 to 45 minutes. Hey, Shirley, are you about there? Hello, Shirley. I understand that you couldn't make it last week, but need to let you know that I had to go ahead with filing the dispossessory. Once you are able to pay the balance of $8,370, then we can stop the eviction. The law does not allow us to accept partial payments during this time. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Good afternoon. Is there any way I can stop by tomorrow and resolve this myself? I would greatly appreciate it. I will hold off with eviction till after tomorrow if you can pay current balance with certified funds. I think that's the same thing. Then this was another one. Dear Shirley, you are hereby notified that the check or instrument with the number September 5th, 2020 has been dishonored. This has been the second time a payment has been returned for insufficient funds. Our policy denies the service to make payments by EFT when 3 or more reverse payments occur. Please resubmit your rental payment with a late fee and NSF fee of $35 once the funds are available. Dispossessory filing commences by the 15th of the month. Thank you. Vista Ray. So then they like emailed a notice. You could reinstate with full payment. Then they got, I certify under the penalty of perjury. This is the hint, basically a halt for eviction. They tried to use that because of COVID. I have used best efforts to obtain all available government assistance for rent or housing. I either expect to earn no more than $99,000 in annual income for calendar year 2020. Was not required to report any income in 2019 to the U.S. Internal Revenue Service or receive any economic impact payments. I am unable to pay my full rent or make a full housing payment due to substantial loss of household income, loss of compensable hours of work or wages, layoffs, or extraordinary out-of-pocket medical expenses. I am using best efforts to make timely partial payments that are as close to the full payment as the individual circumstances may permit, taking into account other non-discretionary expenses. If evicted, I would likely become homeless, need to move into a homeless shelter, or need to move into a new residence shared by other people who live in close quarters because I have no other available housing options. I understand that I must still pay rent or make a housing payment. Y'all get the gist of it. So this was October 12th. They tried to do it based on COVID. But all of this stuff is addressed to Shirley. And when you look at this is their proof of service, of course, because it was certified that they served it. And they got a signature allegedly received, and that's the agent that received it. So these are the pictures of the basement that he alleges the flooding. So then the entry, this was the service of the the entry of service marshal sheriff. I certify that I have served the foregoing dispossessory affidavit and summons on the defendant by delivering a copy of same. Notoriously, upon an individual residing at the premises named Ernest Williams. The opponent further states that the person served was a suit of suitable age and discretion and race, gender male, age, look like they put 40 something, weight 180, height 6 foot. So notoriously, he ain't want to take it. So they said, take that, take that. Then they have, I am the defendant. Now it's the plaintiff versus Shirley, but this is filed. I am the defendant and filing the answer. I state the following. My landlord did not give me the proper notice that my lease or rental agreement was terminated in accordance with the terms of our lease. My landlord is not entitled to evict me or secure a money judgment for the following additional reasons. And then they got Shirley's name on here. The following is a statement from defendant. The statement provides additional reasons as to why the landlord is not entitled to evict. I talked to my landlord about my substantial amount pay cut due to the coronavirus. I have presented the documents. They asked me to show proof of my pay cut. They have let me know they have received the documents and it's been verified. I have also presented along with the documents of my pay cut when I'll be able to pay my rent in full. We also have filed for multiple money assistance for the unexpected issue. She just said none of this came out of her account and she ain't had nothing to do with none of this on this house is what I'm saying. So I wasn't even brought up Bent Creek Manor. I'm just saying. I can't tell nobody what to do. But there's that. So we done went down a whole rabbit hole. I wasn't even planning on going on because it had nothing to do with what we're here for. But anyway, thank you, Queen Brielle, for gifting the membership. Spicy, thank you for becoming a member. Queen Brielle, thank you for the super chat. You get me, said, dang, I feel bad for her. Imagine finding out that your husband has been lying and plotting since day one. Thank you. Ms. Mesmerez, thank you for the super chat. You said, I know Nesto felt small. Tonya be here. Thank you for the super chats. Butterfly Empress said, always love it here. Did Sonya say something? Y'all petty. 504 said, oh, Beyonce on Beyonce's internet on her birthday. To the left. Makes sense to lit. Thank you so much for gifting memberships. Pink Clover said, wow. Yeah, it's a lot of videos that we were looking at, a lot of information on this. So I don't understand why that was brought up, but hey, who am I? Sexy Iran said, freedom is coming. And in the voice of Dre, make sure you like and subscribe. That's right. Like and subscribe the videos. But yeah, that's very, very interesting.
And another thing you notice, the first thing they say, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. That's what it's all about. After they get the dog you out of it, before they dog you out, that's the first thing they say. If you like this video, make sure you hit.
You have 1 minute remaining.
You get me? Said pimp down. That 30 years of legal experience hasn't done anything to help him, and he still can't see it. The chickens. Well, at this point, this is who he has. I ain't mad at him for talking to him. Shoot, he in jail. He needs somebody to talk to. I was saying towards the beginning that it wasn't going to benefit him and it was going to come back to bite him. And I was saying that, and people, I think she relate. I don't even know if she relayed that to him or not, but I was considered like the bad guy. And if it's got something good I hear about you, I'll talk about it too. Just because I feel like you did my girl Shirley wrong don't mean I'm not going to stick to the legalities of everything. I thought your attorney had a good argument. I said he had a good argument on the motion to suppress. I was feeling it. But then, bam, here comes Shirley Strawberry. I'm just saying, she came with her testimony, and that's just what happens. That's it. Muffin 218 says Sonya told Wooten that she destroyed all her information after giving him copies. She said on IS channel that she is still looking at Shirley's bank records. Oh, so maybe she was able to get accounts that he had. You think he had accounts that was in her name or something? That's interesting. Because why would she be looking at her bank records? Why would he? I don't know. Because he couldn't even give authority for her to look at her bank records. He can only give power of attorney for himself for her, which he did. Thank you, Sunflower. I appreciate you coming on over here. Kimmy who said he should have used hood and ghetto instead of the city sister wives. It just, I think, and this is in all seriousness, because this is somebody's life on the line. It sounds like he's made some very not so smart decisions, and I think that Shirley was bamboozled. It's my opinion. I do think that people get into situations for their own reasons. Some people marry for love. Some people marry for money. Some people marry for companionship. Some people marry to get a baby mama for their kids because the baby mama left. And people get married for different reasons. I believe he married her because of the influence she had and the access that she had. And so he did what he basically did. Thank you, unapologetic. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for the super chat. Very generous and kind of you. But I think he married her because there was access to that. And when access becomes, what can I say? When access becomes almost like you're vouching for them. So if he creates a business or comes up with an idea, then we're going to say that's Shirley's husband. I'm going to do it based on Shirley's husband. That's the same issue with people said about Christian Gold with Mary and Jennifer, who was on TV. People said they came to him when they saw what he did and all of that and his connection with Jennifer, and they watched Basketball Wives. Sometimes your connection and you being able to be in circles that you may not have been in, because we know he was allegedly, I guess, with another radio personality prior to Shirley. So I don't know all the intricacies of that relationship, but they were engaged, and I think it was right after he got married or during the marriage. I mean, not before he got married or during his incarceration. I don't know which one it was, but they broke up. That came up in a couple of phone calls. But I don't really know that, so I don't really get into it. But she probably is over here thanking God and shouting right now that if he left her, that was probably the best thing that could have happened to her, and she didn't even know. Do you think Hoover will appeal? Why? I mean, he could. I mean, that'll be interesting for us to dissect. I don't know. I don't know. If he appealed, what would happen is he would probably request to stay, obviously, in this case, and it would just prolong everything even longer. And the client is in jail. So he'll be in there a little bit longer if he does it, waiting on, or he can go ahead and go to trial and see what it's going to be if that's what he plans on doing. So it may be a strategy situation, because just imagine if you're about to go to trial in 60 days, assuming that they would in 60 days on that case, and now you're waiting on an appeal, and now you're going to be in there for 6 more months waiting on the Court of Appeals, or how fast that they do it. I don't know how fast that they have their turnaround for interlocutory appeals or appeals that are still happening while the trial is still going or the case is still being litigated. But I don't know. That's a good question. You said he done checked out. You know what? Amani said, considering her age, is it elder abuse? He ain't that young though. What was he, like 47 when they got married and 57? He like 47 and 57 or something like that. So I don't know. If he maybe if I think that would go more towards, and I'm just guessing, if you're a person who, like, I'm a child and I take over my mom's estate because she has dementia or some form where she can't take care of herself, and I decide to take her money and I'm buying my kids clothes and I buy myself houses and land, and she get ramen noodles and she got to sit in the corner and stare at the wall. I think it's more of those type situations. I don't know. This just seems like a relationship gone bad. It's more of a Tinder swindle situation. She's 71 now. She was not 71 at that time. She was married to him in 2015. So that's what I said. She was about what, 61 and 51 maybe? So I think they're like 10 years apart. Bigamy is enough reason to get him. Hershey me said he's a narcissist. Does he come across to have narcissistic personalities? I don't diagnose anybody, because there is a diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder. Does he have some traits? It does appear that he does have some traits. But I don't know. I don't know this man. You know what, 504. She looks good. She actually looks good. Shirley was in a relationship and he was in a long-term Well, let's look at it from Shirley's side. I get you guys always, bash Nesto, but how do you not take responsibility to some of this and not have your eyes open? Now, if you choose, because some people, again, she may have married him for companionship and said, I like people to put gas in my car because I don't want to. I want somebody on my arm when I go to the awards. I want somebody, because some of those phone calls, she was complaining about him not really being home anyway. So he took her where she had to go. He basically chauffeured her. And maybe that's what she wanted from a relationship. And he studied her, seen what was important to her. And that's what he did for her to keep her content. So if that's what keeps you content, everybody not nosy like half the time I am. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody not trying to look at every little thing and see what's going on. And I don't go out of my way. I feel like if you gotta go be an investigator and go hire investigators and all, I'm not doing none of that. I'm not spending no money. I just ask God to open my eyes to anything I need to see, and it's always worked. But if things are coming to the house, like I'm gonna ask basic questions. I just am. Like I'm not gonna not if a police officer comes to my door and says, "We're looking for your husband because something about businesses," and my response could legit be, "I don't have anything to do with his businesses." But I'm going to question him when he gets home. Why the hell did the police come to my house talking about some businesses and that you allegedly took some money from somebody? I'm going to ask questions. The only way that you could not have known anything is if you just did not ask any questions. That's all I'm saying. Because some of this stuff, you had people that were coming to your home. You had police officers coming to your home. And she really believed him, like on the phone, but you didn't do anything. None of this makes sense. They're always coming after the black man. None of this stuff makes sense. Y'all heard Shirley on them calls. They want me to come down there. And I said, oh no, I'm not coming down there. It's all a lie. Girl, you was trying to get your pixie curls together and they came and repoed your car that he just bought you. You call and they tell you, this is in your name, boo. You got to pay for it. And you still were out here like, why are they lying on you? Why are they doing this to you? Then every week, yeah, I'm coming home. Every week I'm coming home so that he can keep that money coming. Why did you not think, well, honey, you've been gone for like 2 weeks saying you were working. Where is the account where I could find the money that you got from working so that I can pay for your attorney fee? Why did he need your money if he was out here really a legit businessman? Why did he need your money to pay for a lawyer? In fact, most legit business people, and I know because they have me on retainer, they have an attorney on retainer a lot of the times. How you didn't have anybody that was readily available that your wife knew to go to with your money, not hers. So that's why I'm saying some of this stuff was like, girl, I get it. I wouldn't want to believe it either, but I just came to a time in my life where I was stupid. I just said, man, I was dumb. I was stupid. That was so dumb. I'm embarrassed, but not really because I'm about to move on. But yeah, I was stupid. This is dumb. Like, I understand. I will never understand her not meeting with the police. As soon as they requested, I would have been down there because I'd be afraid they show up and arrest me. Right. What if because of all of this stuff being in your name, they tied you to it? I'd have been so. That's what Sheridan did, and they got mad. Sheridan found out they had a document, a lease in her name. He was adamant about nothing being in her name. It comes out there's a whole lease over there on Pine Grove that got her name on it. And then that house was attached to alleged crimes. So yeah, she gonna go down there and make sure she let you know. I ain't had nothing to do with this lease. I don't know who this person is. I've never lived at this address. I don't know, Muffin. I don't know. How was you able 2-3 months before for my or whenever? What was it? Whenever he bought that BMW, not BMW, he got a Benz truck for her. Whenever he got the Benz truck, how are you doing that? How are you able to buy this big ring? And then she got a phone call about the ring, remember? Like they called the diamond place to ask about the ring, and they said they're not giving up the information about the ring. So how are you paying for all of this stuff, but then I gotta come out my money for you to have a lawyer? That would have been my first inquiry. Like, hold on. because I do think her head was in the sand because she got what was important to her. People tend to pay more attention to what is affecting them and what they care about, what their heart's desire was. She had been by herself for a while. She liked how Steve treats Marjorie. She liked how Marjorie got pampered. She would share this stuff with him, obviously, if she shared it on a phone call that was recorded. So you express this. So he said, shoot, I could just pick her up at lunchtime, send her a sandwich, drive her to get her hair and her nails done. Shoot, she don't even require much. Make sure we get a house that's nice enough that she can video from the inside and look like she got it like that. And I act like I'm paying for it and I'm really not because it's in her name. Like this. Cyber World said Nesto had 1 million reasons why his money was funny all the time. Plus, yes, not to mention he was arrested a couple of times while they were married. But she bought the fact that he was saying it was just he was being raggedy, because she said, you need to get this stuff together. Well, I got a system and it's supposed to let me know when I got warrants, so I'm about to sue the system for not telling me that I had warrants, or whatever he was saying on those calls. So she felt like this was old stuff that he just never was responsible for to get it taken care of. Well, that's what she wanted to believe anyway. I really think she just psyched herself up a lot, because I don't even think that was it with April. I don't think that was it with her. I think she wanted companionship. They are married. She wouldn't be able to testify against him anyway. That's not true. That is not true. First of all, the marital privilege is with the parties. So if they were still married right now, first, and their marriage allegedly wasn't even, that was fraud, allegedly, because he was supposed to be married to other people. But even assuming that, putting all that aside, that privilege is in the person. So if I choose to go up there and spill my guts about my husband, that's on me. But yes, it's a privilege that I can maintain. Just like attorney-client privilege, your client is the one who can say you can break that privilege. They can give you that information. Like people were saying that about Tamar Braxton, because her dentist came out saying stuff. They was like, what happened to HIPAA? Well, I'm like, y'all think this doctor didn't get permission to do what she did? All these doctors have to get permission if they want to say what the issue was and any type of medical information. Privileges can be waived. So it's not an automatic. But they ain't married no more now anyway. But I'm just saying. I don't know about several times, DJ, about him, but I know it was a couple of times he was arrested. Cyber World said, I believe Shirley asked Nesto questions. Nesto just snowed her with his answers. Remember, Shirley said every time she tried to talk to him, he would take it to a place that it did not need to go. Yeah, or she would cut it off, and some of those, she'd be like, I thought you said it was paid for. He was like, it was. What was gonna happen is I was on my way to the thing, because I was gonna remember I told you that we was gonna switch the car. He just rambled and talked in circles, and she was like, oh, okay. And she just kind of cut him off. Was like, oh, okay. And he was, you get me? You understand now? And then he just be patting himself on the head like, I done got her again. I done did it again. That's what those phone calls were giving. Like, you, whatever explanation he has, she'd be like, okay, honey, okay. Shoot, whole time she might have been talking to the police. We don't even know. They might have told her to act like everything was still fine until they had enough information. Then she was able to go off on them like she did. I don't know. We don't know how this went. Glorious Love said that's truth being in medical administration. I know. Willie J, what Pam, you need to write a book, Relationships for Dummies, for what to do when you're with a compulsive liar, child. What you want me to do all my case studies? Because I got a whole lot of case studies myself. So I ain't gonna sit up there and act like life's been a crystal stairs for me. She me said, trust me, I got played by a narcissist, but I wasn't paying for anything. He has a good corporate position, real estate, and a lot of investments. The narcissist is dangerous. Well, because the core of a narcissist is that they're really insecure and they're shamed. So that's the core of what a narcissist is. So what happens is, and I'm no psychologist, I'm just saying I've read up on it a lot. Okay. What happens is that all of this, they need to be the boss to mask their insecurities. They need to be that's why they up everything they do. Like if they have 5 people come to an assembly, they're gonna say it was 50,000 people and it was sold out. Like they they big up in their own minds. They're come across very arrogant. Then it does not matter. With a narcissist, you can come with a receipt. You can come with them on video. You can come with them with pictures, with timestamps. They will say, it wasn't me. They will lie to the end. Okay. They will not change. So it's and this is what I had to learn for anybody that is dealing with a narcissist. What I had to learn personally when it came to people that I know that are like that, you have to let them live in a fantasy because they want to draw. You start feeling like you crazy because they'll have you coming into their reality when you know that those facts weren't facting the way that they're saying that they are. That's what they do. But I know what the core of it is. They want to give this perception that isn't even real. They have their own mind and their own, everything is selfish to try to self-preservation. A lot of that is like trauma as kids, emotional disconnections as kids. It's a lot of stuff. So some people are considered narcissistic personality disorder, and some people just has traits of it. And unfortunately, a lot of people become the victim of it, and it's a form of abuse the way they act. It really is. However, what they do is they try to, and they don't marry dummies, and they don't get with dummies, just to let you know. So people that say you're dumb because you're with a narcissist, no, you were actually that girl, because they want someone who is going to help with their status. They want someone that is going to help them look better than what they can by themselves. So they don't necessarily go with the bums. They'll necessarily go with the ones that are working at, the lowest level of the lowest level. They are going to try to get the ones that are beautiful, or they're going to try to get the ones that are professionally astute. They're going to get someone that is of some caliber. So don't think when you're with a narcissist, that's why so many people that are professionals or that are beautiful are with narcissists, because they're going to be with somebody that helps their status. But once you realize that you can't change their minds, you can't change the way they think, you can't change that they're in a whole nother reality, child, you just learn how to. My mama taught me that. She was like, with certain people, she's like, girl, just smile and nod. Because my thing was, this is what my problem was. And Deb used to be on me about that, because I used to say, I'm not going to allow you to think I believe you. I used to be like, I am not going to let you walk around thinking I believe this stupid story that you're telling me. And I'm going to let you know that I know you making this up. And then I learned it really didn't matter that was what my purpose was. They still was going to go with it. It didn't matter if you came with documents. It didn't matter if you came with them on video, voicemail, none of that. It doesn't matter. So once you learn that it doesn't matter, then you just learn to let them go on in their own world. And then narcissists, they don't mind if you leave, like they don't mind if they leave you, but baby, you leave them. Because that means they don't have any more control. They don't have any control. So when people look at women, they're like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful. You have this going on. Why would you get in that relationship?" Because they love bomb you, they study you, they do all of that stuff to reel you in. Then once you reeled in, they pluck away from you and they pluck away from who you are. And so you start losing yourself trying to satisfy them. That's what happens in these relationships, unfortunately. So don't anybody that was in relationship don't feel like you're a dummy or any of that, because you're not. Like they pick you because they feel like you make them, you confirm what they want to give as a perception of who they are, but they really ain't ish on the inside. Like they really insecure and they know they ain't ish and ain't got nothing going for them, and they need you to help with their perception in their fantasy world. That's all it is. And I was talking when I was talking to Deb before, I was talking about social media has been one of the worst things. That's why when people say things about me on social media, why it doesn't bother me like that. Because I know these people live out fantasies on the internet. Like it is the breeding ground for narcissists. Baby, I could put up something and put up of me without a shirt and everybody gonna just like my post and love it. It feeds that validation that they need. That's what the internet does. But anyway, that's a whole nother lie. SH Play said Mushmouth arm candy ended costing Shirley a hit to her reputation, but she's bouncing back. She's doing very well. I think she's doing all right. Thank you for the super chat. She definitely, she could. Shirley can turn this all around, and for real, I ain't saying she ain't no millionaire now, but she could be a multi-millionaire because she's been quiet and she's been patient and she's allowed people to talk about her situation, call her dumb, call her whatever, and she will come with a, I would even do a book. I would have someone take my story on one of these platforms like Netflix, and I would do a whole damn movie because we all would watch it. And people will pay that $9.99, $12.99, whatever Netflix charges now, because it go up every 2 months. They will pay that to watch that one movie. She could really monetarily make money off of this because she's kept her mouth shut. She's kept her mouth shut and hasn't said anything except when she was called to testify. That's the first we heard from her. Except when she apologized to Steve and really didn't give much information on her strawberry letter to herself. She could make a whole lot of money off of this. I definitely be there to watch it. Shoot. Yes, they hate rejection because that's their issue on the inside. They hate rejection being because that's their whole they can walk away from you and don't even care and whatever as long as they're in control. But if you walk away from a narcissist, baby, they gonna be on your neck 50 years later still talking about trying to trash you to other people because they want other people to feel like you ain't nothing because how they feel because you left them 50 years ago. And it's been around forever. I just think now people throw the word around more, and some people apply and some people don't. I think it's used frivolously. I think some people just, it's loosely, I guess would be the best word. It's used way too loosely, and we're not psychologists, obviously, but some of you are, I'm sure, but I'm not. But people have always diagnosed people with it. But narcissism has been around for years, and a lot of it is personality traits. Some people are just so bad, like I said, it's a disorder. Yes, Bian said, give them silence if you're able. Chaos is their feeding ground. Yep. They don't, because what happens is if you're not feeding into them, first of all, if you have a conversation with them and it turns into an argument, they're going to become the victim. By the end of this argument, they're going to be the victim anyway. So you're going to have this argument. It doesn't matter what you say. They're going to find one word to hang on to that you said that may have been a little off because you're arguing and you may have misspoke. And they're going to hang on that one word, forget the 5,000 words that you said. And then they're going to use that against you to make them into a victim. And then it's going to be chaotic. And that's their beating. But if you decide, oh, okay, and just walk away and do your thing, they don't even know what to do because now you got to deal within yourself. You got to talk to yourself. You got to be one with yourself. You got to do all of that, and they don't like that. In the words of the famous Mr. Big, get you 12 white folks and sing. You know what? A real paralegal said, I dated and lived with narcissists for 1.5 years. I looked him up and he married 3 times, has 6 kids, and recently changed his name. He also was dyslexic, a mess all around. Oh my goodness. I'm sure you got a story to tell. Shoot, we all just live long enough. We all got a story to tell. I wish we could always get it right and spot it and think that everyone has good intentions for us, but they don't. That's why I knew Nesto was raging when Shirley said she didn't know anything in court. He lost control of her. That's what the see, you saw. This is why I said I saw some traits. And the reason why I say that is on one of those calls when Shirley went off, remember, he was like, no, you gonna tell me now. He did not like the fact that she said, I'm going to think about it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll make the decisions when I want to. No, you need to decide. He could not, he knew at that point he was losing control of her and her believing everything that he said. That's the point that he knew that. So what did he do? Call Dion. That's your mama. That's y'all got a close relationship. You need to call her. Dre. Call her on 3-way because he's like, no, she need to get the information now. She need to let me know today what she gonna do, because that would have been his last moment of control. So he had to sit in jail not knowing when she was gonna file for divorce, if she was gonna file for divorce, and he didn't. He had no control. I don't think he ever was gonna do it. He would have let it ride to see if he could, because remember, he made it seem like if he wanted her back, he could. So then that totally disappeared once it was filed. Then he had to act like he ain't care. I don't even care nothing about that. What was your day like? Oh, he cared. He thought about that ish every second of the day. Somebody asked him, could they have his chicken finger that he didn't eat at lunchtime, and he probably went off on them. Oh, he was mad because he had a level of control, whereas we see on those calls, well, that's what it was perceived to be. And so then he had to blame her friend. Not that she just came to the conclusion that you weren't good for her. It had to be that fat so-and-so that you was just praising, talking about that was best friend. That was best friend. You loved her. Now all of a sudden it was the fat friend, because ain't no way she got her own mind to do this to him. It had to be somebody else, because I got control because I'm the boss. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying it seemed like it's some traits there, but I ain't diagnosing nobody with nothing. I'm just saying some of the traits seem to be there when we listen to the phone calls. That's all. Did y'all hit this like button? We having a good conversation here. It's getting a little deeper than I thought it was going to get. Remember when she got the raise, he was pissed. Well, he said it was because of him. Them folks got that raise because of me. You see? He got to feed himself because he has to be a part of her success. He has to be a part of something. Bro, newsflash, she got it because she got it. I mean, because she worked hard and she been in this industry for a long time. She chose to get rid of you because you wasn't ish. All right, so you sit with that. I want you to sit with that while you in your cell today. That this lady got on that stand with confidence, and now you got to deal with the fact that in today's order, she single-handedly was able, with her testimony, to have your motion to suppress denied. So she is actually in control of you at this point. And I know that is eating him up. But you know, he is he is a legend in his own mind. He is. You can tell from his stories. That you can tell from his stories. He think he all that. I was the one who did such and such and so and so. You seen the paper? Okay then. You seen that article that I did? Bro, I don't know what his childhood was like, but I would like to peek into it, because he's an interesting character. That's all I can say. He's an interesting character. Yeah, he don't like that was bothering him, that this lady is in control now. That testimony was her taking back her anything that he had to the totality. He expected her to get on there and basically say, Yeah, I may not have known, but it was okay for him to use my name because that's probably what she would have did before this incident occurred, before she knew all of the facts of this incident or all these incidents, and before she knew Sonia existed. She probably would have covered for you. So yeah. Yeah, he wanted Denzel Washington. You see what what are we talking about? When is the wedding date, child? I don't know. They supposed to get married. I don't know. Just Lisa said, "Well, I have to see my narcissist son's father today because our son is getting married. It's wedding rehearsal day. Yeah, I'll pray for me, please. Shan, bring you a date, girl, and be like, hey, how are you? It's good to see you. Look nice." And don't say not another mumbling word. Don't say it. No, don't get mad. Don't let them aggravate you or nothing. Don't say another. Make him go home and think about that whole day for a week. Thank you, Miss HLS, too, for the cash app. I appreciate it. But y'all, I've been on here way longer than I expected. This was supposed to be a good 40 minutes, and we've been on for 2 hours. Okay. Thank you guys so much. As always, it's a great conversation. We talk about some of everything on today. So I hope you guys, if you enjoyed the conversation, please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed and you enjoyed the conversation, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you again, Aaliyah, for letting me know that this came down because I was in the middle of doing something and I wasn't looking. I hadn't even looked yet. So I thank you so much for letting me know that the order came down. I appreciate you and I appreciate all the work you do on here being a mod as well. I'm out of here, y'all. I'm out of here. We got real deep, didn't we? My stapler just fell off my desk when Pam mentioned Denzel playing Nesto. Yeah, well, and speaking of him, and I will say this, and then for real, we gonna go on Whitehead. They did a whole press release. I put it in my membership a week ago, last week around this time, because he filed an appeal. And so apparently he got this attorney thinking that we really be out here checking for him like that. Because remember, he told people that I make millions of dollars off his name because he a celebrity. So he puts this press release that he filed an appeal because he was targeted, prosecution on misconduct. He was targeted based on political reasons because of Mayor Adam. I said that before. I do believe they only came after him because of Mayor Adams and their connection. I do believe that. But I think once they got into it, they found out things that he allegedly had done. That's what I think happened. And I mean, the crime is the crime. Like once they got the warrants, they found stuff. And so because of that, I'm not gonna lie, I even talk about his appeals because I was like, this man basically said I'm a multi-millionaire off of him. So I need him to know, and that's a narcissistic type of a personality too. So in my mind, and I told Deb, I said, am I petty? Because I don't even want to talk to him just because I just want him to know nobody is checking for you like that and nobody really cares. You probably made it seem like you was some big. First of all, I've been seeing in the last month people talking about his sentencing that happened a year ago. They just not talking about you on some of these platforms on Instagram. And I'm like, bro, been in for a year for this. He already was convicted and sentenced a year ago. What are we talking about? But he definitely boosts himself up more. And what did we find out in his trial? Most of these loans, he lied about what he made. These houses was owned obviously from fraudulent loans. Oh, he wanted the appearance of it. He talked about he had all these people in his church and thousands of people in his church but then the robbery happened and they didn't come up. Sir, it was like 20 people in your church on the day of the robbery. We got the video. But that's what I'm talking about. People that they are insecure and they really have to try to create a whole fictional world so that other people will believe that other people will believe that there's something that they're really not. It's just the weirdest. it's just weird. But that's what he does as well. And that's why he hated my guts, because I would bring out paperwork and people would be like, bro, we don't believe nothing you say. Based on the paperwork, that's not what it said. He would say documents say something that they don't say. That's what he was doing. And I was just bringing out the documents on what they said. So that's why he hates my guts. But that's why I'm not talking about his appeal, because he ain't getting no time like that for me unless I just feel like I want to talk about him. Okay. That's what that is. He got like Jenny ABA approved said, how many years did he get? He got what, like 9 years or something? He's done a year. That would have probably been about 7 in Fed time. So he probably has about 6 to go. Man, that's it. He hated it because he wanted people to believe his story, because he reinvented himself. If you really look on Instagram, he had a Instagram page before this Bishop Whitehead page. That Instagram page, I think, had less than 1,000 people on it. This was his real life. He didn't have no celebrities. He didn't have nothing on there. But then he created this page, which I believe that he paid for a lot of those followers. Why do I believe? Because he had a million followers on Instagram. The reason why I believe he paid for it is because during that trial, while I was sitting there, one of the witnesses that was on there, that was over in his ministry, because remember, he was accused and convicted of taking money from Miss Pauline. Her son was on there, and he basically was running the media. The state asked, how did he get his subscribers, or how did he get his followers? Do you know? And he was about to spill his guts, and the defense objected as to relevance, I guess, and the court sustained it. All right. So with that question alone led me to believe that he did not get those millions of the million followers because he was out here and people wanted to follow him because he's that guy and he's up there with the real, A-list celebrity. He paid for those followers, is what my speculation was based on that question, which I always suspected anyway, but that was the first time that it seemed like it was a confirmation. And then once the robbery happened, he used that as a way to talk about it and get his name out there. So he had to capitalize. So he had to go to press conferences, create press conferences, ask all the pastors to come. Nobody showed up. That should have told you what we needed to know. Then it was all the pastors don't like him because he liked the hip hop pastor and he liked the people from the hip hop community. It was just all these excuses as to why nobody supported him. What happened? Your name titles. You went from pastor, then you had to be bishop, then you had to be apostle. Then next thing you know, he was going to get his doctorate. This is one of the reasons why I can't stand that people can pay for or get honorary doctorates and all of that stuff for no damn reason. Because some of these people, it feeds into that. I'm not saying all of them. Some of them may deserve it, but some of them, it does feed into that. Eric Adams' charges was dropped as of now, so we don't know about that. And it was dropped with prejudice. Am I? All right, let me get off of here. Y'all been saying I've been eating people up all day. That wasn't my intent. I was just trying to bring the order from the court on Nesto. Then somebody started talking about narcissism, and then we started putting the facts with the traits, and it just turned into something that it wasn't. I'm about to get off here for real. But I can't get off of here as of yet until we play that.
You's a clown. That's what you. Why don't you call me a cardboard bishop now? Huh? You tough? Call me a cardboard bishop now.
He's not gonna call you that.
Huh? Look on Facebook Live. Call me a cardboard bishop now. You clown. That's what you are. You clown. That's what you are. Why don't you say what you said on Facebook Live, sucker?
No.
That will never get old. But anyways, you guys have a great afternoon. If something else happens, we'll be back. We had a good time. We had a good time. I hope you enjoyed the live as much as I did. And this is Shirley Strawberry from now on. This is her. When I send you this, know that I'm about to blow up your spot. Okay? All right. That's what that means. But until next time, you all have a great afternoon.